It's been just about an entire week since I last posted a long form video on this channel, and I did try to fill in the gaps with YouTube Shorts, right? And I think even with those YouTube Shorts, I probably got to the point where it's been like maybe 3 or 4 days since I posted a video on YouTube at all, which basically breaks a streak that I had going on of posting videos every single day. In fact, long form videos on a daily basis without fail since December the 1st of 2024. There might have been like a handful of days here and there where maybe I missed uploading on the day of. I did record the video on the day, it's just I was kind of late in posting it, so it ended up, you'll see some days where maybe I have 2 videos a day or something, but that's just basically a late video that I created and wasn't able to upload in time on the day of, right? And what happened? These past few days I've actually been busy traveling, doing some apartment hunting and stuff, preparing, getting ready for a move, and it was kind of overwhelming and a little difficult to, get my content in, right? Like get my content creation going. And what happens, like why am I even saying all this? This is what I believe to be the reason, the reason why a lot of people do not succeed with digital marketing, selling digital products specifically, right? Or physical products, whatever the case may be, right? With organic traffic, right? The success of all this stuff that we do rides on the back of consistent content creation, right? Now, that's not to say that you need to be creating content every single day in order to be successful, right? But because of the nature of some of the platforms that we use, right? Like especially if you're using the likes of like TikTok, Instagram, all those short form video content platforms, the videos on there don't tend to have the longevity that maybe say a long form YouTube video would have, right? Those platforms tend to suffer, like they may tend to suffer like a dip, a dip in like say views that you're getting to whatever products that you're selling when you stop creating content, right? And I've gone these few days without creating content on any one of those platforms, in addition to like YouTube and stuff, right? And what I was trying to say earlier is that I believe this to be the reason why a lot of people getting started with trying to make money with digital marketing, selling digital products, I believe that's the reason why a lot of people end up failing. Not because it is complicated or rocket science or anything like that, but because the stuff that you have to do in order to keep up and keep the wheel turning is the part that's hard, right? The actual work that you have to do is pretty simple. Actually, it's pretty simple when you think about it. What makes it hard is consistently doing the work that you have to do in order to keep the wheel turning. And not only that, not only do you have to consistently do the work, you have to do the right kind of work, right? Because you can still create a bunch of videos, create a bunch of content, and still not see a significant amount of success, which is something that I have, that I've essentially experienced, right? I can be upfront and honest about that, right? Considering the amount of content that I produce, you would think, right? You would think that, things would be really, really, really going amazing right now, but that's not necessarily the case, right? This channel that I'm recording on right here on YouTube, I'm coming up on 1 year since I posted my first video on this channel. I think I posted my first video on the 16th of July, 2024. Okay, and in terms of like traction, in terms of like how much I've done, right? Remember, I did say I've been posting every day long form since December the 1st of 2024. Before that, I was posting fairly consistently, maybe not necessarily every single day, but I had been posting fairly consistently since July 16th of last year. And you would think after all this time that things would be things would be significantly better, but that's not necessarily the case. Okay, and that is where getting into buying, like, say, courses from people who have successfully done the things that you are trying to do comes into play, right? So for instance, maybe if I wanted to up my YouTube game, it might do me some good to purchase, like, say, maybe a course created by someone that has had some significant amount of success on YouTube and stuff like that, right? Which in a sense I have done that through one of the courses that that I purchased a while back, but I'm only just now starting to go through the content and stuff like that. So hopefully with this next year and going forward, after I start implementing whatever strategies I learn from that, things will get better. Now, if you're interested or curious to know which one that is, you can check out the link that I have in the description below this video. It'll take you to a page, I think it would be my Stan store, which is the storefront that I use to promote like some of the digital products that I'm currently promoting, and it's one called a DWA. So you can go check that out. That is one of the reasons why, yes, I purchased this a while ago, right before I even started doing stuff here on YouTube, but I purchased it primarily to learn how to do social media content on the other social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all those platforms, right? I'll be the first to admit, I'll tell you, I've never been a social media person. I'll be the first to admit that I'm actually terrible at it. I suck at it, whether it's YouTube, all that stuff, right? What you're even seeing here now is just the product, of me, repetitions of having done several videos and all that type stuff. And I'm still not, I'm still not great at it, right? And hopefully this might serve as some form of encouragement for you if you are someone who's been thinking about doing this stuff, to just get going, right? Just get the ball rolling. You'll learn so much more from actually doing and gaining experience from doing than you would, say, reading all about it and doing all the research in the world about it, right? And not taking any action, right? Imperfect action is always going to beat perfect inaction, so to speak, if you know what I mean, right? So that's the thing, right? So now I was trying to say, the biggest reason, I believe one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people fail with this stuff is little streaks, little things like what has happened to me here, right? Where it's one of two things, right? Either they create a bunch of content, they don't see the results that they think or they were promised they were going to get, they get deflated and they quit, okay? It can be that, or two, right? The difficulty of actually being consistent and posting content on a regular basis consistently, and trying to post the right kind of content, targeting the right kind of people that need to be seeing your videos, right? Doing that consistently on a regular basis, and not stopping and not quitting until you get it right, okay? So a lot of times people will quit too early, and that's just something that's just basically a trap and a temptation that you cannot succumb to. Let's just put it that way, right? It could be so easy for me right now to just throw in the towel and just be like, this thing's not for me, and just just let everything that I have done so far, just let it go to waste, right? And you can't do that, okay? I know there are plenty of stories and plenty of examples that you see out there of people who just started maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and they're already making a bunch of thousands, all that, my inclination is to say those are anomalies, right? That is not the norm, okay? That's not the norm. For the vast majority of people, it's really not going to be that way, okay? But I do strongly believe that this is something that anybody that is interested and seriously dedicated to making sure that they, who dedicated to wanting to succeed with this stuff, I really do believe that it's something that just about anyone can take on and learn, okay? It's just too many people are not prepared for the amount of work and the learning curve that's involved with all of this stuff, right? They just see people seemingly making money so easily and expect that they can come in as well and just make a handful of videos, just do a little bit of work here and just magically start making money overnight. And that's just not the way it works. Unfortunately, it's you gotta put in the work. If it was that easy, every single body would be doing it, right? Everybody would be doing it. So just wanted to create this video and again let you know that what I'm doing here is real. Everything that I'm sharing is the no BS, no fluff type stuff, right? Like you know, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend or show you fake numbers to try to make myself look good or try to trick you or deceive you into thinking that it's gonna be pie in the sky just so that you should purchase whatever it is that I'm trying to sell, right? And again, by no way, shape, or form should you look at what I'm doing to be like you know, a sentence to what you're gonna experience, right? My experience is gonna be completely different from yours, right? Yours could be way better than mine. Yours could be way worse, right? So you're never gonna know how things will really go until you actually start, okay? Until you actually pick up the camera and just start doing what you need to do, right? Get it going. Learn as you go. That's basically what I'm doing, right? I do have a background in digital marketing, but I come from a completely different era, so to speak, right? Most of my success in the digital marketing space came from SEO, right? It came from, you know, from the time when we used to make these sniper, we used to call them like niche websites, right? Making websites promoting different affiliate products, digital products, right? ClickBank products, a lot of that, right? I made multiple thousands doing that, creating these little sniper sites targeting maybe a particular product, right? And generating sales organically that way. This whole stuff with creating content on social media and Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, that's what I'm new to. That's new to me, right? So I wouldn't say, you know, like I have plenty of experience, right, with digital marketing, but I'm kind of on the newbie side of things when it comes to like the social media aspect of it, because it's just never been my thing. I've never cared for creating, you know, like if you go look at my personal Instagram page, you might think that I have one of those scammer looking type pages because I maybe only have like 6 pieces or 4, I don't know, 3 or yeah, 6 pieces of content that I posted on my personal page, right? I'm just not a social media person, so I'm learning this stuff just like everybody else, and looking to share the journey and share how things go, right? With the hopes of encouraging other people who probably will be a lot better than I am, quite frankly, at doing this stuff and probably see results a lot quicker than I would, right? So if you've ever thought about it, don't let anything you see discourage you, right? Like even if you see people not necessarily having results, that does not necessarily mean that would be your story. Like you give it a shot. You'll never know how things go unless you try it for yourself, right? Just like you see there are other people succeeding tremendously out there, there's no reason why you can't. And that is what keeps me going, right? Yeah, I'm seeing success, maybe not the kind of success that, you know, that most people are looking for, right? But there's something out there for everyone that's interested. All right. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. I will be sure to respond. And if you want to get going with your content creation journey, learning how to sell digital products using digital marketing, promoting on the various different social media platforms, go ahead and pick up the same training that I'm just, you know, now starting to learn from and looking to improve things, right? Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Ciao.